Call the meeting for October 16th, 2023 to order. If you would stand and face the flag and last Gina Carnes. Please and pledge allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Gina. I want to welcome everyone out this evening. We will have some time set aside for the visitors to speak in just a few minutes. So if you guys will bear with us, we'll take care of some things here that we have to take care of, and then we'll get you guys up. First on the agenda is approval of the regular meeting minutes on October 2nd, 2023. Are there any questions or concerns on those minutes? I know everyone received them last week to look over. And
I make a motion, we accept them as they are.
motion by Clayton. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Gina. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Next, we move on to approval and ratification of bills. Just as in the minutes, the bills were sent out last week for everyone to look over and take this time, if anybody has any questions or concerns about the bills.
I'll make a motion to approve to pay the bills.
Motion by Billy, and a second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay. Visitors, first up, we'll do the St. Joseph Catholic Church Beautification Award. I'm going to let Billy handle that.
From time to time, we give out, we've been trying to recognize people that have went above and beyond to make their properties look better, whether it's an organization like St. Joseph Catholic Church or an individual to do that. So we would like to present St. Joseph's Church and Father Snow's Beautification Award for the building at 208 North Main Street. And that would be King's Motorsport. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
One of the more fun things we get to do here is to recognize those in our community that help beautify and keep our community looking good. So, again, thank you guys for what you've done. And next on the agenda, we have Ann Marshall. I know Ann's out of town, so Jim's here, but there are several of you here. And do you have a spokesperson that would like to come up and address the council?
We're not very organized.
Somebody's getting nominated back there. George just got nominated.
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
First of all, we wanted to say thank you to the city council and the mayor for getting us some funding for some pickleball courts. We're very appreciative. There's a group of us, and this is some of us here. We're playing right now at the Catholic Church inside and at Mona Higgins' house when the weather's nice outside on her nice tennis court. So it's something we really enjoy. And the reason we're here tonight is we wanted to ask you guys where you're planning on putting the courts and to tell you where we would prefer them. We're not demanding anything, but we'd like to see them at the fire department park or the big park, either one. Nice flat area, already got bathrooms and so forth. So we are a bunch of old folks. We don't make a lot of noise, and we're not going to be raising too much cane. We're just going to, and we're going home early. We go to bed early. We're old. So anyway, we want to thank you for what you're doing for us and ask you that might be where we want to have them.
Okay.
Okay?
I appreciate that, George.
Anything else?
North, south.
North and south.
North and south.
Yeah, build the
Yes.
courts north and
Yes.
south. So
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not like Butler County built their baseball park. Harold knows about that, so. Anyway, thank you all.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys coming out. Appreciate you taking part in the decision-making process of the community. That's what we like to see, citizens come in and voice their opinions. So thank you guys for being here. We have had we've had a lot of discussion about the pickleball court. We've looked at several different areas that we might place the court. Thus far, in my opinion, and I'll go around, we'll let everyone else speak to it also, but the upper end, I call it the upper end, the south end of the Fireman's Park, I think is pretty suitable for it because of the flat area there, the area that we have. We're gonna have to redo that track some anyway. And restrooms, parking, things like that. So I think that has come out on top as the desirable place in my opinion, but I'm just one person. So we'll start with Billy. Billy, have you got any?
No, I agree with Mayor Miller. I think that would be the most suitable and financially best for the community. As George said, the restrooms are there. I mean, lighting may be a little issue at first, but I'm sure that we can get with a group like you all that you could help us or some kind of guidance on lighting. Denny has done a lot of research on it. We knew about north-south versus east-west. I agree again. Just like Harold said, it's a flatter place than any other place probably. We had concerns at first with residents on Asbury Street, but it's on the upper end, and I think the people that own the residence there beside it, it's not a problem. And we already got a parking lot there. Now we may have to expand it some, but it's already there. So I mean, that's my personal opinion on where I think it should go or be. Or I'm sure there's going to be a lot more than just you all playing. Once he gets, you know, George said you go home early. There may not be some that go home early, you know, just like the tennis courts used to be. But it's for everybody, and I think it'll be a great thing for our community.
If you put a timer on the lights.
Probably.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
using LED lights at Mumfordville, and they're really good, and I understand they're pretty low cost as far as draw on the electric. And I was also just, it should be well drained, because the cords, the way they are, when they get wet, they become slick and a hazard, so you want to make
Sure.
sure they're, okay, that was, because some places that have put them in, believe it or not, just don't think of things like
Yeah.
this. And then, I don't know how busy we are compared to Beaver Dam, I mean, population wise, but you know, they're running 6 courts and they stay busy. And, so, you know, I know we're playing on 4, but I was just gonna say, so that'll give you an idea, this is really a popular sport.
Yeah.
And the demographics, it's actually going down, the number of younger people, so it's not just a bunch of old people.
All right.
I mean,
Yes.
there's a lot of guys 30 years old that are playing this game intently.
Yeah.
So, and then if you want to do tournaments, you might want to think in terms of that, you know, fun things and fundraisers for
Right.
like the band or, you know, high school athletics. So, I mean, there is a lot of interest in it.
Right.
These things are, you know, it is a snowball thing. It's pretty eventful.
Yeah, it seems to keep going. You know, I thought at first when I heard it, I thought, well, it'll flame out, but it's not flaming, it's flaming up instead of out, so.
It's going to go anywhere.
It's just another recreation that we can provide. I mean, that's,
The kids are playing at PE at the high school.
yeah, we're big on recreation, so, I mean, look at our parks and
Yeah.
the funding that we spend there, and so, yeah.
For someone that's not very athletic, even I can play. So, you know, I didn't get to play a sport as a kid.
Sure.
And, it's just nice to be my age, retired, and I can get out and play and enjoy.
And I'm even better than she is.
There you go. She's not lying.
we get these up, we want,
I see the cost is not far behind, because I see boards now that you can pay big dollar for, and, I mean, it's just like any other sport. Yeah, shoes,
well, you,
Spend any money, somebody will lend you a racket, you
there you go.
just, so it's for everybody.
I saw pickleball socks.
So something you can go and everybody can play
Sure.
at some level and visit with your friends there where you might not otherwise.
Well, if you got the shoes, you gotta get the socks. Carol and Tom have the socks up on the square at their store, so. Yeah. Well, we do appreciate you guys coming. Tootie, do you have anything? to add?
Just the main thing is having a facility that's got bathrooms and stuff available. That was one of the main things I figured out a place to put it. And that'll work out good.
Clayton?
Yeah, like Tootie said, that's one of the things. I had been given an option. I had several people that their children play ball off of Wallace Avenue over there at the ball fields that said that they would, when they were playing ball, if they would be playing, they would like to be close to it. And right there by the tennis courts are two options where the Babe Ruth League, I'm sure George knows where I'm talking about, Babe Ruth League used to be, and the soccer ball used to be. And I've got some people that were asking for us to consider when we come to a vote to maybe check on that with Doug Robinson and the Board of Education and seeing if they wouldn't, cause it's good flat field and it's not mushy or watery or anything, and it's a good place. It's right there in town and it's closer to where the ball fields are when they are ball being played. And the aquatic center, if their children are there, whatever. And so that was the consideration that I'm being asked to look at.
Gina?
Well, I have to admit, a couple years ago when I was mentioned pickleball, I had to look it up because I didn't have a clue what we were talking about. But we drew out 7 different spots that I can think of. So, I mean, we really have thought and looked and talked, and Denny's researched, and Billy's talked, and everybody up here. So I'm glad to know that you're here to help us with things we might not think about, but that's, to me, we keep coming back to the same location at the Fireman's Park, every conversation. So we haven't decided, but we still keep coming back to that. Seems to be the most logical and meets all the criteria of what is needed. So again, appreciate you being here to help us work through it and think about what we need to think about.
Amen.
Danny?
I think it's the only option. I've walked Bevel Park, and there was only maybe 2 places that were appropriate Bevel Park, and that was going to be a problem with other agencies. So the only other place we thought about was doing it at the old landfill. There's actually land down there, but you got no infrastructure. You've got no bathrooms, you've got no parking, and it's probably not the place you'd want to put it right now. It's kind of isolated. Now, when the bypass goes through and it maybe is completed maybe 3 years, that may be a pretty good spot to maybe expand. Hopefully it's going to take off and maybe put courts down there, because we're thinking about putting Frisbee golf at a professional level. So when we get that, maybe you could put bathrooms and stuff. But in my mind, from what we've gone around with Wes and Kelly Stevenson to look at properties, this is my opinion, the only really logical place to put it. You've got the infrastructure, it's ready to go, you could start now. And the interesting thing to us was that researching and finding out, it's gotten so popular that Scotty's Paving has a crew that predominantly does pickleball. So it tells you how popular it is if they're doing that. So I think this is a logical place, and I understand what Clayton, Council Miller's saying. I'd be a little bit hesitant to put it on property that we don't own. I wouldn't want that for the city, but that's the way, from my feeling. But I think the Fireman Park is appropriate, and the only issue we ever thought about was the noise level. You know, you've heard about the noise from pickleball, but 259 is right there, so that's gonna generate noise. You got daycare, most kids generate noise, some there may be exception, but for the most part, daycares are gonna generate noise. And we talked with Kevin at the, over at Pine View, and there's actually shrubbery and stuff you can put up to help with the noise, fast-growing stuff. So if that's a problem, we could do that, and he's willing to work with us. So I think we've all kind of done our homework on it, and I think that's where we need to put it.
Anyone on this side have any comments? Wes? Okay. Well, with all that said, I think it's appropriate time maybe to put it up for nomination to place North Leitchfield. If anyone wants to make that motion, I'll entertain it.
I'd rather wait until our other councilman is here.
If
Terry
we've got-
Haycraft.
If we've got 4 or even 3, Mayor, I'll make a motion, we move it to Fireman's Park. If we,
Motion by Danny, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Billy, all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Okay.
And I'm not opposed to putting it anywhere to help you all. It's just that I wanted to talk to Doug Robinson before, and we had another councilman that had some things to say that's not here, that's sick, and that's why I would like to see it laid over before that we did it.
All right. Anything else on the pickleball?
Was you gonna have it staked out where you planned on putting it?
Yeah, we can do that. Can we stake it out pretty soon, Wes? And I know Denny's been in contact with the people at Scotty's, and we can get in contact with them and try to get it going, get it rolling before bad weather hits. That's what we'd like to do.
Wes has, he's got a lot of influence at Scotty's.
Yeah.
And I might try to play if John will play with me. And
Charlie?
Do y'all ever think about, of course, y'all know we own cat bids, we charge, and I know the tourism committee's not here, but this restaurant tax that we get billed every month. I would love to see something in the county, that we can use 12 months out of the year. Water park, I've never been there, 4 months out of the year, I guess it's open. You know, we charge restaurant tax 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Captain D sends you all, the committee costs $50,000 a year.
Yeah. And we appreciate it, Charlie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We are,
Let's do something or think about something down the road.
We are thinking about it.
we're looking
we're-
at something now.
we're in the process now of
Park is closed now,
yeah,
we're charged restaurant tax 12 months out of the year.
yeah. We're in the process.
Behind the counter,
We're not sitting on our hands.
when we had to tell our customers, what's this tax for?
Yeah.
You know, and there's several restaurants in this town that probably sends several $100,000 a year for
Yeah,
tourism.
yeah,
I don't know what else they do with it besides water park, and I'm sure they're doing other stuff that
Yeah.
I'm not aware of.
Well, this is one of them.
yes,
Yes.
we've got something that we've been working on for, since the first of the year.
You know, incorporate, you know, me and Doug and Jim, we go to that key town, we play handball up there.
Right,
And then we used to go over to Pritchard's Community Center and play basketball.
Yeah.
It's indoors,
yeah.
you know,
And that's
kids love that, but.
that's something I think you'll,
How many years gonna go to the water park?
I go to the water park to walk the lazy river every summer. It's awesome.
Okay, well, we got more. But I mean, and I know it's nice, but I would love to see something 12 months out of the year where, when we got this weather now, well, let's go play pickleball. We go play at Church Parasol, we got one court.
yeah. We have been working since the first of the year, Charlie, on something. And I think in the near future, we'll be able to elaborate more on that. There's some players and everything that we have to make sure all our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. And once we get all that done, I think you'll start hearing about what our plans are, so.
Everybody.
Throw out maybe a community-owned bowling alley. They, you know,
Last I heard, the gentleman that owned the bowling alley here in Southgate Mall, yeah, they think they've got another spot to reopen the bowling alley, and that's a possibility. I'm not sure how much of a possibility, but I know they're working on that now. It's right now, I think funding is an issue, but
Karen, once the government gets into the private sector, it never works out well. So, I mean, you can go with, where do you stop? If you do a bowling alley, maybe maybe the city wants on a gas station. Maybe, I mean, you get off in the private sector, it's government tax dollars. It's just hard to ever make it work.
I was just thinking the aquatic center and.
Sure.
You know, that's, like I said, 3 or 4 months and it's only on 12.
Does
Yeah.
the city have a vacant building anymore?
no, not that I'm aware of. We've got some storage buildings around the city park over here and everything, but we don't have any other than our work buildings, public works, utilities, things like that that are empty, so.
And I
But-
would just like to say that, you know, the 3% tax goes to a lot of things other than just the aquatic center. The pickleball courts, that's part of the funds, right? And then the expansion at our parks, the work that we do at our parks, the festivals, the different things like that, tourism-wise, that money goes toward that too. It's not just the aquatic park. And I'm gonna ask.
I didn't know what all.
I know, and I'm gonna say and reiterate what the mayor said, just be patient and hold on. Right,
There is a city tourism and a county
there
tourism.
is,
There's two different,
yes.
so,
But they all work together in a lot of the projects that, you know, we work together on. One gets hotel tax and one gets the restaurant tax.
Yeah.
So they work together.
So, that being said, I think if we get through this next portion of what our plans are, and we're able to bring it out to the public, I think everybody will be well pleased with it.
most people.
Most people, yeah. Not ever going to please everybody, so. Okay, anyone else? Okay. Thank you.
We thank you all.
If I could, Mayor, before they leave,
Sure.
before you guys leave, we, Charlie Higdon, before you guys leave, I think I talked to you individually. We're going to be opening a bid for 8 benches. There'll be 6-foot benches for the pickleball courts. Can you all imagine us needing 8 versus 4? There's 4 courts. 4 courts. Benches
I think you'd be all right.
So,
with 4.
Yeah, don't you? Yeah.
Okay.
And then if we need any later on, I mean, that would just be a good thing.
Take one back chair, I mean, we had to bring one. We bring our lawn chairs most of the time, they work outside.
Okay.
But aren't you required to fit in the lawn chair?
see,
Never mind, George.
I got him for you, George.
hey, it seems like, it seems like the Catholics have come out in force. Is there any other denomination that plays?
Shrubbery. Right.
Also for wind, and we do it, we play in Florida as well, and they worked it around, you know, where they're using the bushy shrubbery to break the wind, which encourages
I
more.
think we need the 8 then.
Thank you.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Win.
I really do.
Always better to have too much than not enough.
Exactly.
All right, we'll move on, guys. Results of the bid opening for benches at the pickleball courts. Ms. Christie.
Denny and I had talked just before the meeting. We got the bid opening done on October 5th. We only had one bid. It was from Miracle of Kentucky and Tennessee. He bid 8 benches, 6-foot benches. And it was just his recommendation per court, 2 per court. It wouldn't be an issue if we want to to change the number. I know that the amount of money would come down, but I can get a price from him and report back to you all if you would rather, or if you're okay with me saying go with 4 benches, being he's the only person that bid it, whichever.
But the benches is only 6 feet long.
Yes, they're 6
Well,
foot
I think you
long.
need 8 of them if you're gonna have 4 courts.
I'll agree with Tootie.
Do you have the results?
Yes.
Okay,
They're
just
pretty
making sure.
pricey.
Yes.
That'd be more pricey if we had to buy 4 more later.
Yeah, it may be right.
Yeah, because the freight, we've got the freight figured in, and I always would rather err on the side of
Too much?
too much than not enough, so.
Okay.
While we're doing it, that's my opinion, so. Anybody else?
Anticipation's killing me. How much?
It's
in your packet.
5778. It's in your
57.78.
packet.
It's in here, Billy.
It's 8 6-foot benches
It's
with
in the back of the,
surface mount and all.
Okay. If there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept the bid for the 8.
I make a motion.
Motion by Clayton, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Tootie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 8 it is, Christie.
That's all I have.
Is that all you got today?
But this would be part of the tourism's grant,
Absolutely. It's
So-
covered under that.
so we're good. Okay.
Yes, sir. Anything else for parks? Good. I like that.
Okay, next on the agenda is first reading of an ordinance related to the closure of a public way located at 32 Public Square. Arlene, do you have that?
Yes, and you all had already voted to close, and proceed with the ordinance, so I'll just do a first reading and then we'll take a roll call vote at the next meeting.
Okay.
Whereas the city of Leitchfield
has a duty to maintain certain roads and public ways within the boundaries of the city of Litchfield, and whereas a public way can be closed if it poses a danger to public safety, now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. The alleyway located between West Main Street to West Walnut Street, which dissects through the property located at 32 Public Square, shall be closed as a public way for transportation. The property owners of 32 Public Square, Leitchfield, Kentucky 42754, Robin and Charlie Elmore, are in agreement with said alleyway being closed to the public. Their waiver and consent is attached and marked as attachment A. And it's my understanding Tyler's gonna have that consent with us to attach to it when we do the second reading.
Okay.
The way that's worded, being closed to the public, does that mean, I thought we was gonna keep it open for people to walk through.
Pedestrian walk-through.
Right.
Does this mean public, period?
Well, I can specify and put vehicle.
I would specify.
I was.
I thought that's how we did it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can put vehicle transportation.
Yes.
So, I can include the word vehicle.
Yeah,
Okay.
we was gonna leave it open for public, for public walkers and
Yes.
that type of thing to go
Yes.
through, but no traffic.
Pedestrian traffic only.
Right.
Yeah, I'll specify that, and at the second reading,
Okay.
I'll make sure vehicles are in there.
All right, thank you, Arlene. Okay, approval for amendment adding for longevity in our personnel policy. You want me to speak to that, Sabrina, or do you want to?
I guess at the personnel committee.
At the Personnel Committee meeting, they had added, putting the longevity award in there for years of service. I'm doing an hourly increase. That's in your all's packet too, and we don't have to read that, right? It's personnel policy.
No, it's personnel policy, it doesn't have to be read, and I know that the personnel meeting, this was a way to compensate those for their
Longevity.
longevity and how long they've been here, because with the new pay scale, I don't think there was something built into that accounted for that, so.
Right,
It would just be an amendment to the personnel policy.
right. And the idea behind it all is to be able to reward our long-term employees with something, once you top out with pay. We've got 20, 25, 27-year employees that miss out sometimes, so we want to make sure that we take care of those, so. Any discussion on that from anyone?
No, I just, for the people not here, but it would start from the time we pass it forward. We will not go back, and
Right.
Yes.
so,
You could vote to make it retroactive to when the personnel plan went into effect if you wanted to.
I think
no, we're,
we're gonna start
Okay.
with the new pay scale and
Okay, with the
everything,
pay
so.
scale, yeah.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Clayton,
I'll second.
second by Tootie. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Unfinished business, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property.
I wanted to go over those with Tyler before I presented those, so I was gonna get with Tyler about him coming to,
Okay.
when I'm here on Thursday.
Okay. I had some contact also today, Tyler, with one of the gentlemen we're dealing with, so need to sit down and talk to you about that. He wants to get with you and I some point in the next few days, so I'll talk to you more about that tomorrow. Okay. Any other unfinished business, Billy?
No, sir.
Tootie?
No, sir.
Clayton?
No,
Unfinished
no.
business? Denny?
When I talked with Lori, she said she was not able to put the agenda on our website for this meeting, but she will be able to put it on for the next meeting for the citizens, so they'll know what's on the agenda.
Okay.
That's all.
Sabrina, you have anything? Earlene?
No.
Wesley? David? No, sir. Tyler? No. Okay. All right. We'll go on to new business. Discussion on utility commission pay ordinance. Denny, I know Denny had noticed this in our book of ordinances, so I'll let you
I got-
elaborate.
I was looking at another ordinance in this, and then I looked at this unrelated, but then when I read it, if you'll notice, on the compensation for the utility commissioners, the ordinance says they're gonna be paid based on them attending monthly meetings, and they'll be paid per meeting. And that's not the way we've been doing it. My understanding is they've always been paid a flat monthly rate for being a utility commissioner. So my thoughts were just change the ordinance to reflect they're paid a flat rate like everybody else on all the other people that hold commissions, instead of being paid on a per meeting.
Per meeting basis.
Because then you get the situation, okay, if the meeting's canceled, are they paid?
Yeah.
If they have a special meeting, are they paid twice, or 3 times? So it's more of another housekeeping
Housekeeping thing.
thing, just to make clear. I did talk with Dwight about it. He was unaware of it too, and he's in favor of just making it just like all the other ordinances relating to how we pay people on commissions.
Okay. Any questions on that from anyone? I'll entertain a motion if you would. Denny, you want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion, we amend the ordinance relating to pay for utility commissioners to reflect that they're paid a monthly fee.
Monthly fee.
I'd second it.
Second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Do you all know the monthly fee that it'll be?
What do they pay now,
Whatever they're paid now.
Okay.
500?
All
It's
right.
500. And then the chair is 900, I think, so. Discussion of planning zoning commission compensation. That's another thing Denny had talked to me about. I don't want us to take any action tonight. Just wanted to throw it up for thought for you guys and table it. Planning and zoning commission has a pretty tough job. And their current pay, we may need to look at to adjust some. So if you guys would think about that between now and the next meeting, we'll bring that up again.
Do you want a motion to table it, or you want?
Motion to table it.
I'll make a motion to table the
Motion to
Planning and
table
Zoning
it from
Commission
Billy.
compensation.
I'd second.
Second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
If I could,
Thank
Mayor,
you.
just a few thoughts on that.
Yes.
One thing, the people on the planning and zoning, they have to get CLEs, so it's not just the meetings, they have other responsibilities too.
Right.
And we can talk about it later, but there's a lot going on with changing the billboards, mobile homes, comprehensive plans, so there's a lot that they're doing now, and I anticipate it's gonna get worse in the future, hopefully if our city grows like we want it to.
And they do, as Denny said, they do have some required training that they have to go to, so they do put some pretty good amount of time in there. Discussion on correction to ordinance relating to city administrative officer. Denny?
If you guys notice, it's in the, in our agenda, I think it's the last thing on the agenda on city administrative officer. Under section C, it says the city administrative officer shall advise the mayor on matters of police formulation on municipal problems. And all that was is a typo. It should be matters of policy. It's taken word for word from the KRS. So Lori had checked on that, and under the actual ordinance, it is policy. So the people responsible for putting our ordinance online, it's an error, and it will be corrected. So that's all we have to do. It's just something, another one of those things I noticed and thought, well, let's get it corrected. So we won't have to do anything on this, just more advisory is why,
Okay.
what we're doing.
Okay. Any questions on that for anyone? Okay, new business. Billy, you have any new business?
No, sir.
Tootie?
No, sir.
Clayton?
I would like to thank everybody for getting that fixed at Zeth and out there.
Ashley?
Now they wondering about the next phase of it, that ditch. But I know y'all are working on getting that ready. So I appreciate Public Works, Scotty. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, that's something we've talked about and we'll work on. We've been out and looked at it several times, and we'll continue to try to upgrade that for them out there, get some drainage issues solved for them. Okay.
And then there's Wesley. There's a tree out there when you turn off Salt River Road, there by Bird Tool, right after you turn on, my mind's left me.
Johnson.
Yeah, they're on Johnson, there by those apartments. About that far over from the road, there is a huge tree, and the people keep trying to cut it back because where some of them are parking, it's scraping. And then the mail carriers had to get out a few times. They've had to cut those limbs off, but the mail carriers had to actually get out of the vehicle and put the mail in so it wouldn't, so it wouldn't, the tree wouldn't brush up.
Is it on our right of way?
I'm not sure. I mean,
Private property, yeah?
limbs may be, but I mean, we may be able to trim what's over the right of way, but if the tree's off the right of way, then.
It's about that far off the blacktop.
I'll take a
And-
look at it tomorrow and see.
Okay,
If there's something
That-
we can do, yeah.
okay, that's all I've got.
Gina?
Yeah, I had mentioned to Tyler and Wes, someone contacted me about some properties on Coates Avenue, Johnson Street, and Levette Avenue. Some of that appeared to be garbage and debris that maybe they didn't get in their trash cans and it hadn't been picked up. And then some was abandoned manufactured homes. And then one was looked like an RV camper. They were concerned about somebody living in it without proper sewer and utilities. And I think I had sent that to you all, but I just wanted to mention it, that was concern.
Yeah, I got,
Okay,
Tyler's gonna address that.
okay.
so the property that's got the RV camper in the driveway has already been addressed. That was addressed at the last code enforcement meeting.
Okay.
And they have so many days to get that out of there. And then the other property on Levette with the trash, they just recently had their utilities turned on. So Wes is gonna have the crew go out tomorrow and clean that up, and then we'll get them a trash can out there so we can start services there. And then the other picture you sent me of the mobile home, I got the information on that, have the owners name and everything and have started a petition to do a condemnation for that mobile home.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll let them know.
Anything else, Gina?
No, I'm done, thank you.
Danny, new business?
Basically, we had the Lights and Streets meeting, just kind of talk about that maybe a little bit. We reviewed the ordinances related to the sidewalks, and there's really not a lot, and it's pretty clear cut, so really we didn't feel there's anything really need to change on that. The only thing we had some questions about, and maybe the city attorney can help us, we don't have any ordinance on compliance with ADA for sidewalks. So we didn't know if we need maybe to think about doing something like that or not.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I don't know. That was just something we thought about.
Wesley, do you know?
No, I'm sorry.
Do you know?
Yeah, we don't have anything on it right now. Our only ordinance, basically, there's one ordinance, I think, for sidewalks, and it just basically says that, you know, we will need to fix one or something like that, but there's nothing, no guidelines on it, no anything right now. So it doesn't mention ADA compliant, I don't think,
At all.
At all.
anything, so
There's
that's what we were talking about. It may be that that'd be
Does,
something.
does the state have a guideline you gotta go by?
The
Yes.
state does.
So we may not have to do anything. That's why we just want to,
And it may be something that we can put in there, you know, just that, you know,
Follows.
under the
Refer to the state guidelines or
Right.
state,
follow state
Right.
guidelines or something, but
as you guys know, so much of the ordinances are word for word taken from the KRS anyway.
Yes.
So, you know, it was just something I thought maybe look into, and the city attorney doesn't have, we never give her anything to do anyway. So,
Get on.
The other thing we talked about, and the mayor may help us on this.
Yes.
We were talking about the lights. The lights are the city lights, a flat rate for the lights, whether they're on or working or not working. So we didn't know if there's any kind of contract that requires KU or RECC to get the lights back working within a certain length of time, because it's, you know, it's not really fair if we have to pay for it per light if it's not working. So I didn't know if there's a contract agreement, and we thought that you have a lot of expertise in this area, if you feel well enough to tell us about it.
Yeah.
No, you're not feeling well.
Yeah. Well, normally what they do, Warner, KU, neither one will monitor the lights. The city in the past has monitored the lights. I think somebody's usually gone out some evenings. We do need to start back on that and mark the poles in some fashion. And I know we have several lights out. We have several bulbs that need changing. If you see them cycle on and off, you're coming up on the off ramp and all of a sudden you see a light go off. That's usually a bulb. So if we can, if you guys see any that are out, let us know at City Hall. And but we will probably before long, Wes, get somebody out at night too.
yeah, and do we have any type of contract with them as far as if we turn them in, they have so many days to fix those, or?
That was our
They
concern.
were asking
Yeah.
earlier, and
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
I'm not sure. I don't know that there's any kind of
It-
contract like that.
in the past, how long has it taken them once they report it?
Depends. If we send them one or two, it takes them a little while. They would rather come and do 10 or so
Yeah.
if we have that many, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know as far as, once it's turned into them, when they're actually.
Warren will get them
Warren
right
will get
away. Of course, they've got a local office, and KU, like Wes said, I would imagine they would want several to come down and work on them, so.
I think when I got on the council, I think Darrell Harrell gave me a roll of ribbon.
Yeah,
And if I was out and saw one cycle on and off or was off, it was pink,
yeah.
tie a ribbon around it. So
That might be a good
food
idea.
for thought to put in your car or something, because we see them more than,
We probably got
Well,
8 or
that's
10
what-
out
They
right
do.
now, don't we?
Yeah.
because
Oh,
they're going home before it gets dark, so.
Would you guys be able to help us any on that, David, you think, if we got some ribbon and be able to mark if they see one out? And
We've done that before.
Yeah,
and
That's no problem.
that would be an obvious route to go with you guys, you having people out there every night, so.
You almost need to write it down though, to.
Yeah,
You had a
yeah.
list.
You need to write down a list if you.
well, I'm
don't
sure
mark
they'll
it.
write it down when they put the
But our
ribbon.
thing was, we're being charged,
Right.
even though it's not being
Yeah.
working, and I forget how much it was per light. What, $37.50, something?
$37.50.
Yeah.
Roughly,
Yeah,
and that adds up when,
yeah,
Sure,
so,
but you gotta know it to get it fixed.
yeah.
well, that's why we wanted to know if they had a certain amount of time
And if we had a contract, what the contract specified for, you know?
We'll try to come up with a list as well as some ribbon, something to give everyone that's got a city truck and put a paper in the truck where they can turn a list in maybe weekly or something like that if they notice them out. So
Yeah.
with it getting darker earlier, it'll be more noticeable for the guys too that,
I told David that I'd get with him next day or two and let him know what KU actually, every one of their poles is numbered.
yes,
So they actually require the number.
Okay, yeah.
They can just look it up and know where the location's at. With
Yeah.
Warren, theirs is not, but they don't have near as many, so they're
Right.
easier to give a
Yeah.
description on where it's at, but,
yeah,
I'll get with David and get him
Okay.
some stuff, and that way he have his guys that work late shift or whatever, if they're out in the neighborhood patrolling,
yeah.
they see one out, they can just write it down.
That'd be great if they would. That would, maybe we can make pretty quick work of them. And I'll throw one in my truck just to have at night, so. Okay.
Last thing we had too on the committee was, we asked Wes maybe to go around and make a list of prioritize, maybe for the future of sidewalks and areas that we think would, or he thinks, and we think too, would be a good area for a sidewalk, and maybe we can, there are grants available out there for that. I know they're probably crazy money to build, but it'd be nice if we could have a grant, but before you get a grant, you really need to know where you're gonna put it at.
Yeah.
So if we could prioritize that, but that was pretty much what we, on the
Yeah.
committee, talked about, I guess, unless you guys think of something else.
No, that's
Covered.
pretty well.
Wes, did we ever get anything done out 259 North there in front of the cemetery? Terry had talked about that at one time.
We discussed that a little bit too earlier.
We did talk about that.
And I'm gonna check with the state and see if it'd be possible just to remove that section where it's broke.
Okay.
And it doesn't go anywhere. It just dead ends right up there about, 60 feet or so past the cemetery. So there may be a possibility that we can fix that bank back and just go from there, but I'll check with them and see.
Okay,
But they were very helpful last time they came down and talked to us on it, so
okay,
we'll see if we can't get something done with that.
okay.
If not, then we'll have to drop, it'll be a pretty good sized project. 'Cause it'll
You
have
had to
be
put a
dropped.
retaining wall there, won't you?
Yeah, that, and it has to be dropped down to ADA compliant and all that, so
Okay.
it'll be a pretty substantial project there.
Okay. Any word on the other project out 259 North?
Sidewalk?
Yeah, the other side of the road there.
Yeah, actually, we've got a meeting this week,
Okay,
so hopefully it's progressing a little bit better.
okay.
The only other things I had was two personal things. Any update on the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on McDonald Road? Did you ever get the signs in?
We got signs in, but they were 20 mile an hour, so she had to, so I was either gonna have to put a 10 and a 15 together.
Could you just get some black tape and just tape over it?
She actually reordered some, and hopefully they actually may be in now, but, as soon as they come in, I'll have them put them up out there.
Okay. The other thing too, Wes, is when you put them up, there's two already there, but they're facing the same way. So it may be better to put one coming in, as you come into the city limits, instead of both of them going, as you're going out McDonald Road. Lastly, is there any updates on the Wallace Avenue? I was being asked about that, I talked to you last time about it. Culvert, or?
Oh, yes, hopefully I'll get somebody out there by the end of this week, I hope.
Okay, I'll tell
So, yeah, you can let him know.
Okay. That's kind of an inside joke.
Tag,
Yeah,
period.
yeah. That's it, thank you.
Okay. Sabrina? Erlene?
Like Danny was talking about on the city administrative officer that had the typo, what we do is we turn those over once you all vote on them and they're published to the online publisher that publishes those, so it's their typo. So if you're ever reading over as we're going through the ordinances and updating, if anybody sees a typo, just let us know and we'll turn that over to the publisher and we can get those corrected, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Erlene. Wes?
No,
David?
No, sir.
Tyler?
No.
Okay.
I got one thing I forgot to mention. West out here on Sunbeam Road next to Cross Ridge, the road itself is getting a pretty good sized hole started in it.
okay.
And the blacktop is breaking up all around it. I don't know if you can put that seam seal stuff on it and some blacktop in the hole, but if it gets a little bit bad weather and freezing, it's gonna get bad.
Yeah, it'll start freezing and thawing, it'll get worse.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. You say it's right there? Well, I'll be able to see
right
it.
at Cross Ridge.
Right at Cross Ridge.
Anyone else? Okay. We'll drop down on the agenda to other business. Next chamber luncheon will be November 9th. Please let Lori know by Monday, November 6th, if you plan to attend. Mountain Workshop Stories of Grayson County, one-night gallery, Thursday, October 26th from 4 to 7 at Center on Main. And I'm sure everyone remembers when they were in town last year and with their cameras and all that. So I have seen a book. They've got a book that they actually published. We've got several copies of it at Tourism, so we'll get you guys a copy of it. But it's really a neat book, a lot of neat stories about it. And from what I understand at this thing on the 26th, they'll have some of their pictures enlarged and sitting around and just be able to see and talk about them and everything. But that was a pretty neat deal there when we did that. Okay, reminder, there will be a solid waste committee meeting on November 6th at 5 p.m. Do we know who's on the solid waste committee?
We're experts.
Yeah, okay.
Not as expert as Wes, but when it comes to solid waste, Mr. Schull is.
You're the man.
He's the man.
All right. Any other business from anyone? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Motion by Clayton,
I'll second.
second by Gina. All in favor?
Right.
Any opposed?